What is going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video. In today's episode, we're going to get into how the New York Jets got some help in the fight for top draft positioning in the 2025 NFL Draft. Yes, unfortunately, a week before Thanksgiving, and we're talking draft positioning. God, it's like we never left. Okay, so last night, Thursday Night Football, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers. What a game. Number two, is there anything better than snow football? The aesthetic of football in the snow is just picture perfect. I absolutely adored it. It was fantastic. But the Cleveland Browns pull an upset win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they improve to 3-8 on the season, which is the same record that the New York Jets have. But with that win, the Jets dropped down or moved up a spot, depending on how you look at it. They went from 7th to picking 6th in the NFL Draft. There's still a long way to go. 6 more games remaining for the New York Jets on their season. They're on the bye this week. Thank goodness. No Jets football on Sunday. We're going to take a nice little respite. Everyone deserves a little bit of a break right now. But in a few weeks, the Jets are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jaguars currently hold the number 1 overall pick. So yes, the Jets technically do control their own destiny, not their own destiny of making the playoffs, but their own destiny of losing and potentially ending up with the number 1 pick in the NFL Draft. Could you imagine, folks? Now, the question then becomes, what direction would you like the Jets to go? Do you want them to draft a quarterback? The top 2 names in this draft class are Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, and people are very mixed on both of those guys. Cam Ward, a little bit more of a gunslinger, had a really impressive season at Miami after transferring. He likely seems like most people's QB1, but then there's Shedeur Sanders, Deion's kid, who's out of Colorado, and I've said this before, I kind of like some things that Shedeur does as a passer, but I'm worried about if the New York Jets were to draft him and what that Shedeur Deion off the field stuff would be. Not like off the field, but you know, it kind of just adds to the off field drama for the Jets. And I don't know if they need that. Plus, would Deion let Shedeur play? He's going to pull an Eli Manning. So if his kid goes to somewhere he doesn't approve of, like, would he let the Jets draft Shedeur? That sounds kind of wild to say, right? But I'm not positive that he would, based on the past quarterback situations of this football team. It might be unlikely. And again, looking at it for the Jets side of things, this isn't the best of quarterback classes. And sure, you never know. Maybe you do draft Cam Ward, Shedeur, or somebody else, and they end up hitting, and that's fantastic. But if they're not the answer, like I think most people aren't, most people are assuming that Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders are not franchise quarterbacks, then you're going to just be right back in this spot all over again in a couple years. I want to talk to you guys about today's sponsor, Lofi, the best nicotine pouches on the market. Playing baseball growing up, I picked up the nasty habit of dipping tobacco, and products like Lofi helped me stop. My 2 favorite flavors are the wintergreen and the mint. When I feel a midday slump coming in is usually when I like to toss one in. So let's level up your nicotine routine with Lofi. Go to lucy.co/O'Leary and use promo code O'Leary to get 20% off your first order. Lofi has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind or don't like it for whatever reason. Here comes the fine print. Lofi products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. What about Mason Graham? Interior defensive lineman from Michigan, probably helps against the run or in the run game. Jets need help on the interior outside of Quinn Williams. They don't really have a whole lot. Is it not worthwhile to take a, interior defender in the top 5 again? These are all reasonable questions. I think Graham's a good player, and I can understand why they'd go that route, but again, it's going to be contingent on like what this next regime is looking for. Do they want another interior guy to put with Quinnen Williams? Maybe they want an edge guy. Abdul Carter out of Penn State, probably the best edge rusher in this class. Jermaine Johnson's coming off an Achilles tear. They're gonna, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but Hassan Reddick didn't work out, unfortunately, and they're probably gonna let him walk. They need help at that spot. You have Will McDonald, which is great, but they don't really have anyone on the other side. Seems nuts to go back to the edge well again after they did it in the first round in 22 and 23. But they might have to, unless they find someone in free agency or, I don't know how they're going to go about fixing that spot, but edge after this year likely will be in need. And then how about wide receiver? I mean, maybe if you get the number one pick, are you taking Travis Hunter, the wide receiver cornerback hybrid, or McMillan for Arizona? I mean, Devontae Adams, if Rodgers isn't back, I don't think Devontae is going to be back. And then you can get out of the Lazard deal. And you have Garrett Wilson and then Gibson, Malachi Corley. Like, they need more at that position. So maybe it is worthwhile to go with a wide receiver in the first round and try to get, weapons in here for whoever that quarterback is going to be in 2025 and beyond. It's not easy. It's not an easy choice for the Jets. It's not so black and white of they 100% have to do this and there's no other choices. That's not the case. You're going to have people who are saying wide receiver. You're going to have people saying edge or defensive line, and you're going to have people saying quarterback. And you can make a case for all those things. But at the end of the day, the Jets are probably going to end up with a very high pick, and it was helped last night by the Cleveland Browns winning. And we'll see how this goes. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets win like 2 more games. They finish 5-12 and pick like 6th, 7th. That seems like likely here. They're not going to just bottom out and go 3-14, are they? That's too easy. It's never the easy road for this football team. Guys, that'll do it for me. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.